Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Danielle if you're new, and I am a full-time reseller on Poshmark and Mercari. Recently I had been getting some requests to talk about Flyp more and kind of explain how the app works and how I use it. So I decided today I would do an entire video dedicated to Flyp and how I use it in my business and pretty much how to use the app in general. So if you are interested to learn more about Flyp, keep watching and let's get started. So I do have a notepad here with some notes on it just for stuff I wanted to touch on. So if I am looking down, it's probably because I'm looking at my notepad, at my notes. But let's go ahead and jump in and talk about what Flyp is. So Flyp is an app where you can yourself be a pro seller, or you can have people consign your items. I myself use Flyp as a pro seller as well as a consignment client. You can use Flyp either way. You can be a pro seller or a client. You can do both. So kind of how the app works is you either sign up to be a pro seller or to have your items consigned. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is becoming a pro seller. So pro seller basically means that you are selling other people's stuff. So they send it to you for free and then you take a commission of their stuff. So the first step into becoming a pro seller is to apply to become a pro seller. So after your application is accepted, you can then move on to apply for lots. Now lots drop every day at 5 p.m. Central. I'm Central, so I use 5 p.m. as my lot dropping time. They drop every single day, Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. Not on the weekends, only Monday through Friday. So over here I put up a little image of what you can expect when all the lots drop. This is what all the lots look like. There'll be different lots every single day. Some of them do drop in again if they did not get a pro seller the previous day. So this is what they all look like. You can scroll through and click on each lot and see exactly what's in it and decide if you want to be the person to sell that lot. So say you have found a lot that you are interested in selling for a client. Then you can go ahead and apply for their lot, and the only thing you have to do to apply is to set a commission rate. So you can choose any commission rate that you would like. I do 50% and 60% commissions typically because that is just what I have found works best for me. So some of the lots are more sought after. So if they are designer or if they have a bunch of like sought after items in them, I will go lower on commission, but it kind of is, it's typically based on what lot it is on what commission I do. So you have until 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. to apply for any lots you want to apply with. Like I said, you only apply with what your commission rate will be. The next day at 8 a.m., if you are matched with a lot, they will notify you in the app that you have been matched with a new lot. Once you are matched with a lot, then you will provide your price estimates. When doing price estimates, I always stick to a little under what I think I can get for the item because I'd rather be a little under than oversell myself. So I'd rather do, if I'm thinking I'm gonna sell something for 30, I might put like, okay, 28 as the highest I can get for it, just because you never really know how the market's gonna act when you have that stuff. So that's how I like to do it. You can do it however you wanna do it, but it's better to stay on the safe side, and if they do not like your estimates and they decline your application, that's okay, and you can just try again with the next lot. When you're doing your price estimates, do keep in mind that when you sell an item, it is for the actual sold price. So if I sell an item on Poshmark for $25, that is what I mark it as sold in the Flyp app, $25. Not $20 after the site fees, but before the site fees. The pro seller pays all the site fees for the item. So just keep in mind, if something's sold for $25, you mark it as $25 sold, and then you pay out their commission, and you are what's left with your commission minus the site fees. So after you submit your price estimates, the consignment client then has, I believe, 3 days to accept or decline your lot. If they do not accept or decline within those 3 days, then the lot will automatically be canceled and you will lose it. So once your application was accepted, you will get notified that it was accepted, and your consignment client will get a label sent to their email, and they will print that out, slap it on the box, and send it over to you. Flyp has no hassle inventory, meaning no one has to pay anything until something sells. So once your lot is delivered, make sure everything is as is. Make sure there's no stains, no holes, no damages, because once everything is in your hands, it is your liability, and if anything happens to the items in your hands, you are responsible for the payment of the items. I myself try to get all my consignment stuff listed within a few days after receiving it, depending on the size of the lot. Just remember that the selling period is 90 days, so you want to try to have everything sold within 90 days. Of course, you never know what the market's going to be like, so I've had lots that have gone past 90 days, and that is okay. So once your item sells, you can go ahead and mark it as sold in the Flyp app. You go to that specific lot and you push sold, and you enter exactly how much the item sold for, and then Flyp will do the rest. So over here, I'm showing you exactly kind of the breakdown of the sales. So this is the screen you get after you've sold something. You can see how much you sold it for. You then see your commission as well as your client's commission, and then you can release the payment as well on this screen. You mark the item as sold when it sells, and then you release their payment once you get your payment released. So in Poshmark, if you sell something for $25, you can mark it sold for $25, and then once that item is delivered to the client and you are rated and have the funds, then you can go back in and release the payment. Now, say you did not sell everything in the 90-day period. That's okay, some things take longer. So here are your 4 options that you have when you didn't sell everything in that 90-day period. So the first thing you can do is request an extension on the selling period. This will extend the selling period by 45 days, so 90 plus 45 is what you have to sell it. So this is the option to choose if you're confident in the items and you are confident that you can sell the items within the next 45 days. The next option is to return the unsold items. So this option I do give my clients the option to use, but none of them really use it. I've only had one client use the return the unsold items after 90 days. So I typically don't have people use this option, but it is available. So the third option is to donate the unsold items, and this is not an option that I've ever had used on my Flyp, but it is there just in case it is to be used. So the fourth option is to make a buyout offer. So this option basically allows you to buy the remaining consignment items off of your client for a lump sum. So you and your client will talk over basically how much you're willing to give them. You can kind of negotiate and do all that. I've used this one time when I had one item left in a bundle. I offered her a lump sum of $10 and she agreed to that, and that was that. So it's basically personal preference on what you want to do after the 90 days is up. Once you extend for another 45 days, you will then have these options once again. So just choose wisely and choose whatever you think is best for yourself and your consignment client. So in the Flyp app, you can actually give the client options as to what they want to do. So I usually give them the 3 options of extend the selling period, donate the items, or return the items. I will only do a buyout if I think it is the right thing to do, but I will never offer that upfront to them. In the end, once you've sold every single item in that lot and paid it all out, the lot is marked as done and moved to the very bottom of all of your lots. So I do want to touch on one extra point real quick. If you're a pro seller and you're working with a client and they really like you, they can request for you to work on a specific lot that they have. If you do want to work on their specific lot, you will get a request in your chats, and you can go check out the lot. And if you are interested and you apply, you will automatically be the first person that client sees. So if you build a good client base on Flyp, you will have returning clients over and over again. I do have a few people that I've worked on multiple lots for them. So it's a really great way to build up another income stream because you're getting these items for free. And yes, you may not be making as much as some items that you buy from the thrift store, but it's still a steady little income stream from Flyp. So if you use it in your business like this, it can work out well for you. So now that I've discussed the pro seller aspects of Flyp, I'm gonna go ahead and go over how you consign your items with Flyp and you become the consignment client. So when you are a consignment client, you can submit all your lots onto Flyp. The max number of items per lot is 30, and they do not accept every single brand. When you are uploading a lot, you will upload a picture of the item. You will then tell them the size, the brand, the condition, and if there are any defects on the item. So this is what the seller sees when they are looking at your lot. You want to make sure your pictures are clear, and you want to make sure your description is clear, and you definitely want to make sure you know any flaws because you don't want them to get the items and then find the flaws. So after your lot is ready to go, Flyp will then just look it over, make sure everything's good. If there are changes that need to be made, they will send you a message, and in your lots, it'll say changes need to be made or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it says. After that, your lot is now in the pool of lots that drop every day at 5 p.m. Central. From here, all these sellers will look at your lot, and if they would like to sell it, they will then submit their commission for it, and the next day, you will get notified if you were matched with a pro seller. From here, you will be matched with a seller and they will then send you price estimates, and just make sure that these estimates are what you want them to be. Make sure you are okay with making this much on the items, and make sure you look at the total amount they think they can make as well as the commission rate. So you want to make sure that your commission is not too low and their commission is not too high, and vice versa. If you do not like the estimates provided by that seller, you can go ahead and match with a new seller. If you match with a new seller, it'll give you just the next best seller that matched with your lot. If there were no other sellers that match with your lot will then go back into the pool of lots, and maybe the next day you will get a pro seller. After you accept a pro seller's application, you will then get a shipping label. The $9 shipping is for whatever weight class it is. So the lots can be up to 30 items, and I believe up to 30 pounds. So if it's 30 pounds, you're paying $9. But you do not pay right off the bat. You only pay shipping when your first item sells. So when your first item sells, your $9 is deducted from the amount that you would be making on that item. From there, your pro seller works on all of your items and sells them. So now I want to talk a little bit about how I use Flyp in my business. Like I was saying before, I do use Flyp as a pro seller as well as a consignment client. So I did touch on this earlier. My commission is always 50 or 60%, and I always try to apply for lots that I know I can sell. If I'm not sure about a lot, I do not apply for it because I only have 90 days to sell these items. And if I'm not sure I can sell them, I don't want to risk getting them and then having to return them and doing all that, wasting my time. So I only apply for lots I know I can sell and that I'm confident in selling. I also touched on this a little bit earlier in the video. I always put my price estimates a little lower than I intend to make. So if I think I can sell an item for $35, I will most likely put 30 as what I think I can make, just because I want to leave myself a little wiggle room, because you never really know what the market is doing, and you don't want to oversell yourself, you'd rather undersell yourself. So once I receive a lot, I always send a greeting message to explain to them that I received their lot, and I will let them know when I expect to have everything up. So it's typically within 24 to 48 hours. If it's a larger one, I'll just let them know it'll take 1 or 2 extra days. As well, at this point, I will let them know if I found any flaws or damages. So one extremely helpful thing I've been doing with my consignment stuff is I have a very separate spreadsheet for all of my consignment stuff. So on Google Docs, that's what I use to track all of my inventory. I have multiple tabs, and one of those tabs is consignment, otherwise known as Flyp stuff. In this tab, I put their names as well as the date I first received the lot, and I put the commission rate and how much I told them I could get for the items. Then I write down all the items, the description, the size, measurements, and how much I'll list it for, just like my normal spreadsheet, but in a separate one so I can keep it all separate. So in the Flyp app, this is what all of the lots look like, and you can go into each individual lot and see the items and how much you estimated for the item and all that stuff. But I do find it's easier to keep a spreadsheet because it's just easier to look at that way. I always keep track of everything I've sold and made on a spreadsheet so that I'm either hitting my clients' expectations or I'm a little low on these expectations, so I need to do better. So one tip or trick that I did want to share with you guys is about 45 days through the consignment period, I will go through and send offers and drop prices to see if I can get anything sold. If I don't get anything sold or anything I didn't sell, I will then relist it all just to get fresh eyes. And I mean, relisting is very helpful because you have all these likers, and if they're not going to buy when you send them an offer, they're not going to buy in 30 days when you send them an offer. So I like to relist them to get fresh eyes and just try to get them sold because I only have 90 days to sell the item. So one mistake I do see a lot of pro sellers making is when they mark an item as sold, they mark it sold after the site fees. So if you sell something for $25 on Poshmark, they're marking it as sold for $20. This is not how the Flyp app works. The Flyp app works in the way that you mark it as sold for $25. Your commission is including in the site fees. So for instance, if you sold something for $25 on Poshmark, with the $5 Poshmark fee, you mark it for sold as $25. Then if you have 60% in that lot, you make $10 and your consignment client makes $10. That is how it works. If you have lower commission, you're making less than 50%. So you have to keep in mind this when you're doing your estimates and when you're pricing things out, because you mark your items sold before the site fees. So if you are offering a shipping discount or free shipping, you can deduct this from the sold price. So if you sold your item for $25, but then you offered $5.95 shipping, you would then deduct the shipping discount from the sold price, and that would be the new sold price. So the sold price is everything, including site fees, minus the shipping. So now I want to talk about how I use Flyp as a consignment client. There are two main ways that I use Flyp as a consignment client. One is to move out old inventory. So if I have inventory that I've had for like a year and a half, 2 years, I can't move it, I've dropped the price, I've relisted it 5,000 times, I send it to Flyp. This is stuff that I really don't care how much I make on it because I've had it for so long. And then stuff that is just, I cannot move it myself, but maybe someone else can move it because everyone has different luck with selling stuff. So this is kind of how I move out old, stale inventory. So the second way I use Flyp as a consignment client is to move out really cheap inventory. So for example, my Jomar Wholesale Passes pallet that I received a little bit ago now had a very low cost of goods. And so a ton of that stuff, I went and stuck them into Flyp lots. This gets it out of my hands. I'm not spending time on it, and it was so cheap that I'm still making something when someone else sells it for me. So it's a way to kind of just move cheaper inventory that I didn't love. I wasn't excited to sell, but I'll still make something off of it. All right, you guys, that is it for today's video all about Flyp. I hope I didn't leave anything out. I really tried to touch on everything I wanted to talk about. If I did miss something, or you have a question or need some more clarification on something, just go ahead and leave me a comment down below and I will get back to you. If you are interested in using the Flyp app, I do have links down below where you can sign up to be a pro seller and sell people stuff for free. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, and like this video if you enjoyed. If you have any other video recommendations, please leave them down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again next week.